Welcome back to the junk room, everybody. Blah, blah, blah. We had some hiccups with Kim Simmons. We got him here. Who is Kim Simmons? Well, he took the photos you saw in a lot of the Star Wars boxes. He worked from Star Wars up until the 90s, not just the not just the Kenner stuff. We're talking Hasbro era. So, hopefully I'm going to jump in here. We'll work out any of the hiccups, and we're going to get him on the show. We're going to late start. So again, if you want to ask him any questions, send in super chats, guys. Super chats. Because I can't sit here and keep up with all the messages. So let's do super chats. That way I'll make sure I see them. So again, Ken Simmons, let's look at some of his photos while we get ready. We're here. I think we're here. I think everybody hears us. I think we're all here now. Okay, you hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Okay, I hear you. You hear me. Okay. Oh, that's the problem with doing this thing live. We've been doing it live. We had an interview last week, and then every time there's an issue every single time. So I guess start off. How did you get involved with? Did you do just Kenner? I mean, just Star Wars, or did you do pictures?
No, I did whatever they asked me to do.
Okay, so it wasn't just Star Wars, but okay, so you were.
In the beginning, that's all it was.
Oh.
When I came in and started working with Roy, he was the first man who shot Luke Skywalker. I always give credit to Roy. Always got to do that. And he's no longer with us, but I'll make sure he always gets the credit. And when I came in, up until I bought the studio in '88, and then I went all the way till Hasbro left Cincinnati. So I did all the Power of the Force 2 and E1, except for about 2 or 3 months at the beginning of when they first started bringing it back in the 90s.
Okay, so when did you start with them? Right after.
In '81 is when I started with Roy.
Oh, okay. Did Roy retire, or you were just filling his shoes, or?
Well, no. When I started working with Roy in '81, he was the man shooting. Okay?
Oh.
He was shooting, and when I came in, I was looking for a job, and I was told to go sing, which I did.
Right. Hold on again. Sorry, somebody told me I was having problems hearing you. So, volume up, please.
So,
I don't know. Let's see if this will work.
if my volume up high enough.
We'll try that. We'll see what everybody's saying. I mean, you sound good to me, so.
Okay, all right, well, I can do whatever.
Okay, you sound good there. We'll see what everybody else is saying. We'll give them time. Okay, so I know somebody's going to ask, so I'll go ahead and ask you now. Because people ask me all the time is, why will some of the figures have different weapons than they're supposed to? And I said, I know the answer. Y'all probably just didn't care.
No. When I came in, there was a pile of weapons in one box and figures in another box, and in their own areas. And Roy basically said, "You just grab a gun," and basically it was like, okay. And I'd go look on the back of whatever, blister card, whatever I could find, reference, and I just went by that initially. Until I started catching on to it that, wait a minute, this gun goes with this guy, and this gun goes with that guy. And then what I did is I took vinyl case inserts, those little plastic trays, and each one of them had their name in it. I put their name on it, and they had their gun in there.
Okay, yeah, because I noticed on like one of the land speeder boxes, the stormtroopers got Chewbacca's gun, and people always ask. And I said, I figured y'all just didn't, it's a lot different time then. Just picked them up.
It was a different time then.
Yeah, that's what it says. Did you do the photos also with like the kids on them playing, or were you more of the just setting up the scenery?
No. We did it all. I mean, literally, it would be some of the shots you can actually see where I'm taking the picture and Roy's helping the kid.
Oh, really?
He's holding the kids. You don't see those because I don't show the pictures of the kids if I can help it. But you'll see pictures. You can see where Roy's got the kid's arm and trying to hold it up because it might be the lightsaber, or it could be the Imperial shuttle.
Yeah.
That thing was heavy. I've talked to the kid who's now a grown man, and he just said, "Man, that thing was heavy." I know.
Yeah, it's pretty.
The picture.
Yeah, I've got one over there, and it's heavy for me, especially if you're holding it to take pictures all day. So
You got it.
I've always tried to find those kids, but I can't find them. I can't find anything about them.
It's really difficult. It really is. I mean, I've got a guy here in Cincinnati who Dave brought, who's been trying to send out information, trying to get information, and trying to get him in touch with me, in touch with them with me, because I'd love to be able to use some of the pictures of them and put them, so people could see the whole picture, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed when Hasbro did some of the retro figures, they had kids that looked like the kids, but when more I looked at it, I was like, that's not the same kids. So I guess they have to get that permission before they repackage them. But
Yeah.
I've heard it was kids that work for parents at Kenner. I've heard it's model kids. I've heard different things.
Yeah, all of the above.
Really? Yeah.
All of the above. I mean, one of the photos on one of the TIE fighters, I can't remember which one it is, was the art director's daughter.
No, really? Okay.
And then there'd be some other ones that would just from model agencies.
Yeah.
We put a call out and there might be. I know I did I used Tom Niehouse's boys on another package. It wasn't Star Wars, but I used him, the kids for that. So it was all over. It's just like
whatever kid you could grab.
You got it. That's right. That's exactly what it is. And if I got a good kid, which I did have really later, when I've got a good kid that could really follow directions, I stuck with him.
Okay, that's good.
I really did, because if I'm using hands, I'd call him.
Yeah. Was
if
it?
When they let me use him, I'd use him.
Use his hands over and over again.
Over and over again. I mean, I'd keep calling. I got a hand shot. I need you for about an hour. And he was good. I was like, okay, I'd be it. My understanding is that I ended up putting him through college.
Oh, really? Man.
Yeah.
But good job too, especially as a kid, and getting to see all the toys before they come out.
Oh yeah, they loved it. They absolutely loved it. That was more of a thrill to them than anything they'd ever get, money they'd ever get.
Oh yeah, you could have gave them the box of toys; they probably would have been happy. Speaking of which, one of those photos you had, I noticed it has a Kickbash Boba Fett, which has never been seen again. You don't have it sitting over there, do you?
How I wish. I heard what the latest price would be. If I happened to have that, I'd be a millionaire.
Yeah, because that Kickbash one's never been seen since the photos, I don't think.
No, from my understanding, that went back to Kenner, and this is from Roy. It went back to Kenner. Very likely, it ended up either in other parts of other figures.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah.
Or it's in Rumpke's landfill someplace.
Yeah, with a lot of others. Yeah, I figured it was stripped apart and used for something else, like it was. Something was stripped apart for it. So, so you got volume 3 of your book coming out, right? You doing a Kickstarter on that?
Yes, we are. Yes,
okay.
we are.
Okay, tell me well, first, what's different for volume 3 between volume 1 and 2?
Well, volume 1 was a New Hope. That was all it was. And we basically got Ben Sheehan. He had been doing all these interviews with all the different Kenner people, and he's the writer. I'm definitely not a writer. In fact, I was kind of worried that all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, Ben's not going to be with me on volume 2, and because he wanted to move on, and what am I going to do? And I got a hold of one of the people that I know, and it was in the production line, and he goes, Kim, I've already said everything I want to that's out there. Everything that's just repeat. And I said, oh, don't worry about it. All they want to see is the pictures. So the Empire Strikes. Oh, it just allowed us to get the pictures bigger. That's all it was. From that point on, we didn't have to leave any room for type.
Yeah.
So Volume 2 is The Empire Strikes Back. And then Volume 3 is to be Return of the Jedi. And because it was like, okay, we are right here, and I'm looking at Power of the Force, and I was looking at Droids and Ewoks, and I'm going, there's not a whole lot there. I mean, every image I've got of Ewoks and droids is there. And as far as the Power of the Force, everything's there. So it's kind of like, let's put them together there and make one large volume of it. It's not as big as the deluxe version that came out of Volume 2, and it's smaller than it's larger than the standard volume that we had in Volume 2.
Okay. Can you still?
Let me explain. The only reason there was a standard volume over because Ben Sheehan was initially he was involved. He said nobody wants to see micros. There'll be a very small niche of people that really want to see micros. And it was like, well, no, but because I really enjoyed micros. I really liked micros. So, and then basically the day that we announced the Kickstarter, things were already full steam ahead at that point. We were going in this direction. And Ben said, I've got to go on to other things. I said, okay. But meanwhile, we were stuck.
Yeah. I mean, I get a lot of love. People love that micro line. You know, I still get people talking. I mean, it didn't sell good, but it's still a lot of people love it.
They didn't have the money to pour into the marketing, from what I understand.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, they was probably pushing everything they had on the figures because they were selling so good.
Yeah.
So, do you own the photos that you took?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's good.
It's one of those nice little things that I thought I saw a glare in my eyes there in my glasses, so I can't see very well. That was one of the conditions when I bought the studio. I asked Roy, and he said, "Why? Why do you need that?" Well, I said, because there are things that I shot, you shot, we all shot. It's like I want to have them just in case down the line.
That's smart.
He goes, I don't see why you'd want those things. I said, I need that. That's what I want. He thought he was going to end up with the studio back after I was bought, because he actually was financing the studio. I didn't have much money, and still don't for that matter. But he said, finally, after he came by the studio, and he goes later after about 5 years, and he goes, yeah, I think you're going to make it. I said, yeah, we're going to do all right. We're going to be all right. I said, we assigned the paperwork now for the copyrights. All right, I can do that.
Well,
we did.
That was smart of you because, I mean, look at you now. I mean, I know people that would buy those prints and, love to hang them on the wall and everything.
I sell the prints. My website's there.
Yeah, I saw some. We were looking at some pictures before you came on. We were waiting on you, and we were looking at some pictures I threw up, and I was like, man, I'd love to have that on the wall. I'd love to have that. So many of them. And it's nice to see these pictures without the logo and the text on them and everything. See the original pictures. Is volume 1 and 2 still in print? Can you still pick those up?
We have very limited numbers of those. I mean very limited.
Very limited.
That's why they're being used as rewards for volume 3.
Yeah.
However, to be honest, I'm just the face for that stuff, for the Kickstarter. My wife's the one that's doing the layout, and she and Justin are the ones that are doing figured out the Kickstarter. And I'm more into this thing about showing the toy photographers that are out there that Justin posted, which I couldn't even get on the internet. It wouldn't let me. You talk about the problems you had tonight.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get on. Facebook wouldn't allow me on at all.
Oh, really?
I'm nobody's. It would sit there and just do that number. Just keep going. I go, okay, I can't get on. Finally, I did remember. Wait a minute, I've got Firefox. I've got Chrome. Let me try.
Try another one. Yeah, try another one. Somebody in the chat asked your website, but I'll go ahead. It's easy. The Man That Shot Luke Skywalker. Is it .com?
Well, there's .com and .net.
Okay, so they'll both take you there. I mean, that's easy. That's an easy one to remember. How did that name get associated with you?
Back in 98, 97, 98, somewhere in there, they did an article on me for Star Wars Galaxy magazine. And the guy, I think it's James Wood. I think his name is. He, shoot me there. He just gave me the name, and he just said the man who shot Luke Skywalker, but he used a camera instead of a blaster. So when he did that, I just grabbed it.
So it's stuck.
When I did that, when I started looking for something for the website, I'm going for a website back then. I was like, well, why don't I just use that?
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good name. Stuck with you. Then did you do just Kenner, or did you do other toy companies also?
No, I just did Kenner.
Just Kenner.
That's it.
Have you ever thought of doing any books or anything on some of the other toy lines?
No, there's guys that are doing those.
Oh, really?
There's a guy in New York who does the G.I. Joe stuff, and I didn't do G.I. Joe per se, the line. That was another guy here in Cincinnati who did it, and really nice guy, and he did phenomenal work too. Really good work. And but what I did was the toy catalogs. A lot of the stuff that he wouldn't even see, I was doing for the toy fair catalog.
Oh, okay.
And I would see the prototypes.
Oh.
And I just a guy in New York. He's doing this book on G.I. Joe. God, what's his name? Tim Finn. He's doing this book. He's working on now. That's going to have at least 5 of my images in it that I did. And because they're prototype stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting. Prototypes. People always love to see those. And want to know what happened to them all.
Yeah. Well, some of them, the ones for Star Wars, a lot of them I did have.
Really?
I had a lot of them. I had a lot of the, I'll say first shots. I had the figures, I had first shots, hard copies.
Yeah.
The droids, I had every last one of the hard copies.
So you got to keep the stuff you took to put pictures of?
I tried giving it back. They never wanted it back.
Yeah, it's a lot different today, I bet.
Yes, it is. I tried in the late 90s. I tried to hold on to a couple of them, but couldn't do it.
Yeah, because you did photos for the Hasbro era stuff too, right?
Yeah, I did.
Until
when Hasbro left, that was in 2000, end of 2000.
Yeah. So I guess between that Star Wars gap, that 10-year gap, you were just doing other Kenner toys still?
I was doing off and on. Some things I was doing, or I did ice cream for Kroger Company as well.
No, really?
So, oh yeah, I did that for almost about 18 years or so.
Yeah.
My wife was doing the styling, and I was doing the shooting, and.
Okay, so y'all work as a good team. That's good.
Oh, God, yeah, we've ever since we bought the studio in '88, she's been there, the chief cook and bottle washer, and I'm just the ugly face.
You're just okay. Lost my train of thought there.
I'm sorry about that.
No, I was reading a chat trying to make sure I got anybody's question. Get back to the Kickstarter. You know when that's? Y'all hadn't reached the goal yet on that Kickstart Volume 3, have you?
No, I think we're Justin just told me tonight we're at 57, and if I understand it right, we've got to get to 85.
Okay, so you're almost there. A little.
I'm hoping. Everybody's around here's got their fingers crossed. So.
Yeah, I think you'll be able to get that because.
I think he said we've got 6 more weeks. So.
Yeah.
So hopefully it would get funded. All we do is hope.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a lot of people probably want to see, especially as you said, it's got Power of the Force in that one.
It's got Power of the Force and Droids and Ewoks.
Yeah, I think Power of the Force. People really like. There's a big change actually between those early stuff and the Power of the Force. Really, I don't know the right word, but there's really, really good photos of those Power of the Force ones. More, I mean, not that the other ones aren't bad. They just the artwork and everything just a lot different. Yeah.
A lot of the artwork at that time, they hadn't gone to internal. There was a different design studio that was doing those.
Yeah.
In the previous.
Because it seemed to move away from kids playing with it on the box, and got more.
That was a different line. No, that was a different time. Sorry, I got it mixed up. That was Power Force 2.
Oh, okay.
Power Power of the Force. Yes, that was still all the same design studio that did it. They had probably had a little more freedom at that point. They were so used to doing things. They finally got. They were always. I know that they were always pushing Art Hefner to try this, try that, do different things, because they would do the same to me. He said, "Try this, do this."
Yeah.
Get some action in these guys, and I'd sit there. Okay, how do you get action out of something that doesn't have any elbows or knees?
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I've noticed those like Empire and Star Wars had more kids, and by Jedi, it seemed y'all was fading the kids out more.
It was not as we didn't see their faces as much.
Yeah.
The only face we saw was he's now a lawyer, so I better not say his name. But he was the boy on the Luke lightsaber.
Oh, okay. Trying to remember him in my head. They all start to look alike after I've seen so many of them.
At least that's the way I remember. And I may be wrong there. I could be wrong. I mean, it's like Power of the Force 2. Was that Power of the Force 2? No, that's Power of the Force 2. Sorry about that.
We can talk about that one too.
you think you get confused?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they called it Power of the Force just to confuse people. I think just had two lines called Power of the Force. Was Kenner there to tell you what they wanted, or did you kind of just had your free will?
When I was doing when I was just doing like the sets, if I didn't have kids in it, they didn't come down. We literally would I'd shoot Polaroids or whatever, take it over now this is the beginning. Take it over to the design studio. They would yay or nay at that point. Because it was like, well, they would have a little more freedom at that, because I'd have to create it, whatever it might be. Now, the only time Kenner ever came down was when I was doing the Hoth battle scene. When I did the Hoth battle scene, the art director, the AE, came over and one time, see how things were going, because I was taking 8x10 Polaroids over. But then when he said, okay, God, my mind's went blank. He came down. The one guy from Kenner came down. That's his name. I can't remember his name.
Well, I can't remember names from last week, much less 40 years ago.
I see his face. That's the bad thing. I see his face in my head. And he came down and he looked around, and it's the only time he came. He goes, "Hey, I love what's going on." He says, "But one thing." I said, "What's that?" He reached over, he flipped off a light. He says, "There's your shot." I looked down and go, "Duh."
That's all it took. Just
okay.
A little darker. Okay. We got Bradley wants to know what's your favorite photo or one you're the most proudest of?
The Hoth battle scene.
The Hoth, yeah, that's the one with the Trying to remember it in my head. It's got the Rebel troop. I saw it on your website earlier too, and it's a real good action scene. I think they put the lasers in that one.
That one they did. Actually, that's the first image that Kenner had ever had retouched by a computer.
Oh, really? Now I'm sure everything they do is on a computer.
That was in '82. You got to remember that.
Yeah.
Was and that was a brand new process that the design studio was able to convince Art Hefner that they should do, and they did, and it worked out really well. Now, back going forward a little bit, I was still trying to get my thesis done, and for my master's degree. And what I did is I used that as my centerpiece. Well, I had Billy Ellison. I took him to 11x14 prints, and I asked Bill, or 16x20 prints, they're sitting out here. I said, I need you to do me a favor. What is it going to cost me? I said, I need lasers cleaned up, and I need lasers in here on this one. And on this one, I need everything taken out, down to just the mountains and the snow. But I need to photograph them in between. Oh, he said, that's great, because that way you can walk away from it for a while.
Yeah.
I said, what's it going to cost me? He said, 2 bottles of, I don't know, 2 bottles of some kind of scotch. I think, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, that's what it cost me. And that actually is the photograph that they used, in my understanding, is they used it in the Star Wars Galaxy magazine as their pullout, their big
Oh,
poster,
yeah.
because there was no transparency of it after it was retouched.
Oh, really? Okay.
It didn't exist. Even the art director says, "Well, yeah, didn't that come from?" I said, "No." I said, "The only time that happens is because Billy did this. He didn't even know it." I'm going, "Yeah, this is what I've got the artwork."
Man.
I said, "That's it." And he goes, "Really?" "Yeah." He says, "You didn't know that by that?" He says, "No, I always assumed there was a transparency." I said, "No, nobody
Yes.
ever put down the transparency of that."
Really? Man, that's surprising. Yeah. Like I said, it's surprising you even own the way Lucas wants to own everything. I'm surprised he didn't try to own your photos. So you lucky.
I tried. I reached out. I tried, but nobody ever wants to talk to me. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna make them for everybody out there to for them to see it.
Now that's good. I mean, yeah, that's good that they're out there. You know, because a lot of these toys and stuff, we don't know who shot them and what. So it's good to know. Like I said, they look really good too. So you know, with all the text on them and all that.
I think I send George Lucas a copy of the book. I did the first one. I've did the second one, and I've never heard back.
No, you didn't get a cease and desist. So I guess that's what's important, right?
That's what's important there. And Steve Sansweet, he did the intro on the book, on the volume 2, and he actually feels like, he just told me, he says, "Kim," he says, they don't really care about that. You're not doing anything to hurt the brand."
Yeah.
I would never do anything to hurt the brand.
Right.
And that's just people who do that just.
No, I mean, yeah. So, was you doing photos or anything before you came with Kenner?
Well, I literally had just gotten out of grad school.
Oh, really? So that was your first.
Literally just gotten out of grad school. I still had my thesis to do, but both of us had gotten our masters, and up there, in Athens here.
Yeah.
OU, Ohio University. So it's that was literally, I walked into what is now the design studio. Who ended up doing. I didn't know they were doing Star Wars. I had no concept about this. I just know I needed a job,
Right.
and I was looking for work, and I didn't know how. When they were kicking people out at that point into the real world, they didn't prepare us. They do now, but I walked into the design studio, got an appointment with him, and with one art director, showed my book, and he looked at my book, and he goes, "Oh," he says, "You need to go see Frankie." "Okay, who's Frankie?" "That's Roy Frankenfield." I said, "Okay, how do I get a hold of him?" He gave me his number, and he says, "You call him. And as soon as you leave here, you call him." He says, "He needs you."
Man.
So I called him, got an appointment, found out he was literally a block away, and went in, showed him my book, and okay, I'll let you know. I got a call the next day, later night at home, and he said, "Well," because I went flat out, told him, I said, "Look, I need money. I need a job. $75 a week. I'll sweep your floors. I'll do anything. I need a job." And he said, "Well, I'll start you off at 100, and we'll see how that goes for a couple of weeks. And then if that works out well, then we'll go to $5 an hour." I said, "Okay."
It was good just getting out, $5 back then, just getting out of school. So, when did you leave Kenner? In the 90s?
When they left Cincinnati.
Okay, after they closed Kenner down.
When Hasbro left Cincinnati, Kenner, they all left. My son ended up going with them because he became an inside photographer for them.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, you passed it on.
Well, not really, but he had done a lot of work with me, so I literally told him what I wanted him to do, and I just have to go check on him. But basically, he did it, so it was like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
So I happened to be walking by, I wish I could remember the office of the guy in charge. Boy, that bugs me. Um, I overheard them. They were looking for another shooter, a photographer, because the guy was leaving. And I go, I know somebody who can come in and take care of her. My son can. Haven't you seen me, Kim? Okay.
That's it.
That was it.
That's pretty good.
All I did was mention his name. That was it. There were no doors opened. He had to earn to get in there himself.
Yeah, yeah. Being that you're probably more old school, I guess everything's digital now. But are you still more of a fan of film?
Well, let's put it to you this way. I've been told by enough people out there, I was the first commercial shooter to grab onto digital, and I never let go. As soon as I saw it coming in, I grabbed it. Everybody thought I was nuts.
Yeah.
I was for a long time. My wife refused to go there.
Yeah, I know a guy.
Because the cost was immense. What you'd spend, what today is basically almost a throwaway camera, was $10,000 then.
Oh yeah.
I'm dead serious. And I got that $10,000 camera because nobody wanted it. And I got it at $5,700 with the lens, which did not come with it initially.
Man.
And there was $1,000 lens. I said, well, I can't go wrong. I mean, and it worked. I used it with totes for a long time, the umbrella people here in Cincinnati. I used it with them for a couple of years. I had a guy, art director, AE art director guy. He saw it on the writing. He saw it on the wall too. He says, "Digital's be here." So I did a couple packaging for them. I was using it to sell the concept of doing digital to everybody, and because I could see it, it was something that's like, wow, this is it. I'm not trying to put anybody out of work. I sent my wife to every Photoshop class you could dream of anywhere in the country. I was on first name basis with some of the guys at Adobe, and got to know them. So I wasn't trying to put anybody out of work, but apparently, obviously, airbrushing went out the window.
Yeah. Was it more digital by the time you left? By the late '90s, were they starting to move? Hasbro moving into more digital stuff?
Oh, I was when the E1 came out. I've been going back and forth. I did a line with Kenner for Cindy, the doll Cindy. They were bringing in to do, and I did 7 packages. I shot film, I shot digital, I shot film, shot digital on each one I did, and they were using it. Oh, we're just not quite there yet. He just didn't think it was there. Okay, that's all right. We'll just keep going.
Yeah.
And I had to do a lot of educating those guys at Kenner, became Hasbro, and so by the time they pulled me in for the E1 episode 1 stuff, I was already doing the Power of the Force stuff, and some of that was digital. And Dave Reed says, "Okay, this is gonna be as digital as everything I think can be handled by digital. We're gonna do." Okay, great. So we did everything, and I actually had access to a catch light. I used Leaf, and then I had a catch light. That was the only big ones. Catch light was the same company.
Yeah.
Cameras, and because catch light you could do it people. The other camera I could not. And I'll tell you, or came up to one. We ended up doing everything. The pre-press house here in Cincinnati. During the meeting, they were laying it on the line. During the meeting, the guy cornered me outside the meeting. He goes, "I'm gonna have you for lunch, Kim. Digital's not there." Well, by the time it was all said and done, they weren't there either. I was.
Yeah, I mean, I had a friend that did wedding photos and stuff, wedding pictures and stuff in the probably late '90s, and his dad was did it for years, and he just refused to go digital. I was like, everybody's going to go there.
Everybody was going to go. All my photographer friends, they were all saying, "Kim, you're nuts. It's not ready. It's not there."
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's here. It's here to stay. Don't think otherwise.
Yeah.
Because I was a lot of times the corporations were sending me the cameras to check out. So I
Right.
was seeing things 6 months to a year before they were.
Yeah. 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 I know the first digital I got was cheap and it was horrible. So I kind of. But now now on your phone you can take a pretty good picture.
Yeah, the iPhone would be about is almost comparable to that first digital camera that I got.
Really.
Yeah.
Man. Um, I've seen it asked twice here, so somebody wants to know what's that comic book strip behind you.
Oh. um, I've kept it. Oh, can I get it off the wall? Yes, I can. It's an Outland. I'll try to
Outland.
hold it up here.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know if you can read it.
I can read the end of it. The first of it's a little blurry for my eyes. Maybe the other people watching can read it.
But it's all about it's all about the latest National Geographic cover. Check it out. And let's see, what is it? Visually imperfect, will be tampered with, tinkered, tweaked. They'll be edited, altered, perfected, purified, improved, enhanced, and embellished. What other cherished art form will it infect next? And that next line, that last one is that one. I've just always kept it. This goes back
Yeah, that's pretty.
a long ways.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how somebody saw it, but they must have good eyes. They asked me twice what it was.
I've got everything on my wall. I've got one of two Robin Williams clocks. I've got different things.
Yeah, I like the space little city right there. I was trying to figure. I was kept my.
That's the constant pack that was used on the back of
That's
the.
what I was
on the
front.
front.
Yeah, with the bounty hunters on it.
Well, with the I believe so, bounty hunters, as well as a couple other things. They use pieces of it.
Yeah, I had people ask me like some of those Cloud City pictures. They're like, that character wasn't at Cloud City. Why is he on the box? I was like, you probably just grabbed what looked good for the photo.
No, a lot of times they would say, "Hey, use that there." Now
Oh,
you can
okay.
adjust where you need, but I'd like that background.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't there for that, so I can definitely tell you that that's what happened.
Probably some of the figures too. I mean, the newer figures, they probably wanted to make sure the newer ones were on the box,
Yeah.
to sell them. But
Yes.
okay, well, we're at an hour now. I know we got a little late start, but
That's
I'm
what
gonna,
you do.
I'm gonna let you get out of here. I'm glad we got everything worked out, and I appreciate you again for sticking with me, getting all the kinks worked out and everything.
Anytime.
Okay, maybe we can do this again. And everybody in the chat, I'll be right back. Okay, that is interview with Kim Simmons. Didn't get many questions, guys. I was running out of things to ask him. Maybe y'all all are just listening here. That's Kim Simmons right there. I guess that's it. I mean, we're talking over an hour. Sorry we got to a little late start, but luckily we got everything out. And check out his website, The Man That Shot Luke Skywalker. Please check that out. I mean, those photos look great. I mean, with the ones with, like I told him, without the text, without the Star Wars logo, you can really see those photos. They look really good. But I'm going to wrap it up here, guys, I think. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Ashley sent a super chat. I appreciate it. No question. She had nothing to ask me. That looks like it. Super Empire. So I don't see. I was making sure I didn't see any chats I missed. Junkman, do you like cheese? No, I do not like cheese. I love cheese. Okay, I think that's it. I think the interview was a little choppy. Maybe y'all could hear him. It looked like his cam was breaking off this. I don't know if that was on my end or his end. Hopefully it all came out. I think that's it. I'm fun with this next week. Not an interview. We'll get back to doing some kind of topic, and then we'll do some interviews throughout. But thank you guys. Hope you enjoy that. Share it. Tell others. Check out the Junkman. And he actually told me right then when I was showing the photos, telling him goodbye. He said two of his friends was excited, saying, "Hey, you're going to be on a Junkman show." So Hey, that's pretty good. What was it going? That's it. That's it, guys. Monday nights live. We're done. Star Wars Mondays. Yeah, we got a bad case of the Mondays. We'll talk with you soon.
Junkman. Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.